Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I have a very special interview and a very special guest that I wanted to share with you guys. I have world famous artist Miguel Parades, and he's actually going to be talking a little bit more in depth about the new animated NFT series that we have partnered and we are going to be launching within the next couple months. This is something I'm really excited to bring to you guys on this channel because we've been following NFTs for a long time. I've already been partnered with EcoFi for over a year now, and today I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to actually get some more insight on the new animated NFT series that we're launching. This is going to be the world's first NFT cartoon, and we are super excited to be partnering with a famous artist, somebody that's world renowned inside of the art world, and he's going to be sharing with you guys exactly what we have in store for you upon the release date coming in the next couple months. I've been so excited to share with you guys the new update on this NFT series, and today you guys are going to be getting the first-hand look from Miguel himself. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos, like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 20,000 members growing. Links are provided for you in the description for the people that want to go ahead and join my community. On top of that, if you're new and you want extra educational content on how to be more profitable inside the markets, links are provided for you in the description to go ahead and download my free ebook and beginner's guide to crypto. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us in today's video. I've got a really special guest here. I have two special guests. Number one, Miguel Parades. He's a great artist that's actually partnering with me and Pablo, and we're actually launching a new NFT series. And so he's just barely stepped his toes inside of the NFT space. We've got some really cool artwork that we wanted to share with you guys. We are all working together to actually launch the world's first animated NFT series, kind of like a little cartoon. And we're getting ready to launch this. We're currently building it. All the artwork is getting created as we speak. And so for today's video, we wanted to just give the opportunity to kind of explain a little introduction on the team here between Miguel and Pablo, sharing kind of the things that we're working on, talking a little bit in depth about the actual NFT animation series that we're creating, and then talking a little bit about some of Miguel's personal NFTs that he's launching with the help of us. And this is kind of a great opportunity. You know, the NFT space has been extremely hyped over the last few months, really the last year. We've seen a ton of new infrastructure being built, a lot of profit potential, and we all wanted to get in on this in a way that was very creative, unique, that could really just inspire a lot of people to kind of do the same thing. You know, we've seen a lot of cash grabs. We've seen a lot of stuff that doesn't really make a lot of sense. People are more or less confused why NFTs have a lot of value. And we've seen a lot of just random projects that have kind of blown up, and a lot of people are confused on really why that is so. And so we figured now would be a great opportunity to get in, make something that nobody's ever seen before. And so today's video is going to be us really just introducing all of that, kind of summarizing some thoughts and things with that. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Now, I'd like to start off this video by simply giving Miguel the spotlight to kind of explain a little bit of background about himself, explain kind of some of the things that he's working on currently. And yeah, I think that you guys will really enjoy the stuff that we've got going. It's going to be something very interesting, something nobody's doing before. And so, Miguel, go ahead and kind of give us a little bit of an introduction. What made you want to start working with us, and kind of some of the things that you're actually working on behind the scenes as we stand right now.
Thanks, Donovan. So yeah, man, we met on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
We followed each other, and you were kind of a fan of my work, which is pretty cool. And I was kind of a fan of your what you do. So I wanted to get into the NFT world, and I wasn't quite sure how to do it. So the cool thing is that as we started creating the Wheelies projects, Pablo had launched a line of NFTs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Genesis collection. And he's like, look, I sold down my entire collection, and I don't know, how long was it? You did it pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it happened. It happened in an hour, if that.
Wow.
So I said to him, hey, why don't we do, parallel to what we're doing, why don't we do a collaboration and let's see how it goes. So I took one of his photos and I started putting my magic into it, and we literally sold the four pieces in 30 seconds.
Wow.
So that was cool, right? I was like, wow, this is great. Let's look at the rest of the collection. So as we were talking about collaborating and going forward into this, I said, what if we gave somebody a piece of art, something physical that they can take with every NFT they buy? Because he had a certain amount of members, which is the Genesis members that actually get an NFT. So I was like, what if they got a piece of art? And then based on how many collections we have, I was like, what if everyone got a piece of art? So that's what we did. We started giving away limited edition prints. We started giving away sketches, which took 10 years of my life to get them all done. We've been doing this for the last 3 weeks successfully. I mean, it's been insane. Like, our Telegram family is growing daily. And we're just really excited because we're like a pioneer of this now. Now people are buying an NFT and then they're getting an actual physical piece of art. So imagine if like Picasso or Andy Warhol did that. We started doing this 3 weeks ago, and it's really exciting because we're giving art away with a digital piece, right?
Right.
So not only do you have this authentic digital minted NFT, but you also have a physical piece that's valuable. It's signed, it's one of a kind, and everything we're giving away from this point on is really one of a kind. Even if it's a limited edition of a painting I created before, it's only part of the NFT series.
Right.
So it's a specific size, it's numbered, it's signed by me, and where are we going to be, in a year from now?
Right. See, I love that concept. And that's really the big thing with my partners over at EcoFi was we saw all of these NFTs starting to take off. But at the end of the day, it was all digital art. And most of the digital art was really crappy, basic art. Anybody could have generated it. Most of the people were getting a lot of stuff just from basic image sourcing websites. And they're pretty much just plagiarizing other people's stuff for the most part. It was very much not very unique in the slightest. And so that was the big thing is who's going to be the first people to actually start to tokenize real art? Who's going to be people that allow you to collect the NFTs and then get shipped a physical masterwork to your door? And this was something that nobody was doing at the time. And so EcoFi kind of stepped in, and then they started to buy art from different art institutions. And then they were starting to do the same thing. You collect 100 NFTs and they'll actually ship you the physical art piece. And so this is kind of the same concept that we wanted to do over here. And it's really cool because of the fact Miguel already has an established audience. He's already a well-known artist inside of the art world. Many famous people have already been buying his artwork. And so he's already established. And that was another big selling point inside of the NFTs is there's really not very many artists in the NFT space, let alone people that are already established in the main art world. And so it's been really cool to see how well that art's perceived by the community in crypto. People are starting to get acclimated to seeing your work out here. And it's been amazing to see that launch actually kind of come into focus. And so, Miguel, do you have any websites, social media, or anything that you'd like to also share?
Well, my Instagram is artist Miguel Parades.
Okay. And I just saw that you hit 500,000 followers over there. Congratulations.
I did. I bumped up like 10,000, I think, because Justin Bieber gave me a shout out on his story. He's a really cool guy. He bought a painting for me a while back, like a few months ago, but he's been on tour and he's just been, really busy.
Right. So Miguel,
like, Bieber, where's my shout out?
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, that alone, guys, just shows with you. I mean, how established Miguel actually is. He has Justin Bieber, somebody with millions of Instagram followers, actually buying his artwork, giving him shout outs. And so this is the big thing that we kind of wanted to cover and why we started working with Pablo over here. Pablo is one of my good buddies that I've met on crypto Twitter. He's somebody that's really helped me a lot with finding different investments. He's a very savvy investor. And I've been following his work just in crypto for a long time. And so me and him, we watched some of these NFTs taking off. And then we really just wanted to jump in on that for ourselves, not so much as a way to just make a lot of money, because that's really what we're seeing right now. A lot of influencers that are getting on board is mainly just a cash grab using very crappy art for the most part. and, you know, they're not really collaborating with anybody established. And so me and Pablo kind of got this idea that, hey, we should jump into this NFT series. We should get into this somehow. And it was at that exact time that, Miguel, you were actually messaging me on Instagram, letting me know that you were watching some of my videos. And I just put it in my head that, hey, I actually have this amazing opportunity. I don't even know any artists, but for some reason I have Miguel Parades actually messaging me on Instagram at this exact time.
My CPA turned me on to you.
See, that's a cool compliment. That makes me very happy to know that there's actually a CPA that watches my channel out there. I definitely must be doing something right. And so that's really why we got this whole idea in the first place. And so me and Pablo started talking and networking with Miguel, and then we kind of collaborated on this idea. And Miguel had already had this kind of this cartoon animation built around these Wheelies characters, and that's what it's called, about these germs that are actually found underneath the president's table. And it's this little micro colony and this network and this community of these germs that are literally just living their normal life under the president's desk. It's something that we wouldn't think about, but, you know, these have this entire functioning community under there. And so we kind of went off of that same idea. We thought that that would be perfect to kind of play into what we're seeing today. And so we wanted to actually kind of give you guys an introduction on some of the stuff that we've been working on in the scenes as it stands right now. So Pablo, what do you have to share with us? Kind of give us your thoughts on why you thought that this would be a good opportunity. Give us some thoughts and perspective on what you've actually been helping Miguel create, because these guys have been working seriously 20 hours a day, not even kidding, barely sleeping, getting as much content as they possibly can, because this is going to be something that's huge. But we're all really, really excited to share it with you guys.
Thanks, Donovan. So I don't even know where to start because we're working on so many different things at one time, between giveaways and art and NFTs and marketing and the wheelies and the animations and music. So many things going on at the same time, all good stuff, all cool stuff. And about the wheelies, you know, when we talked to Miguel probably like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, at least now, you know, we were talking about different concepts. He said, "Oh, I made this thing 20 years ago. You guys want to take a look at it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he came out and said, "Hey, it's this crazy concept where these germs live under the president's desk and they have their own little world." And I was like, "What?" Like, I don't know how you came up with this, but that idea is awesome because it pertains to so many things that are going on right now. You know, with COVID and germs, everyone's hypersensitive to that fact. And having an actual germ as an NFT, as a generative NFT concept is completely crazy. Nobody's thought of it, and it's super original. So a lot of the times right now you'll see, you know, different projects, you know, Bored Ape Yacht Club, all these different generative art projects that are kind of copycats of each other in some way, shape, or form. We have like 8 different cats. So seeing something that's fresh, seeing something that's new, that's cool, that's developed and created by a well-known artist to me is awesome, because that doesn't exist right now. And, you know, some of the things we have planned for the wheelies, obviously it's going to be an animated series. I don't know why you guys entrusted me to write some of these, but all I can say is, you know, if you follow me on Twitter, how crazy I am at times, and how I talk about, you know, current events and bring that into my Twitter, we're going to bring a lot of that stuff into the wheelies with real world events, right? Because everybody right now is super serious about things. You know, you've got people getting canceled left and right, and we've kind of forgot the ability to laugh, to have fun, to make jokes, you know, to make fun of each other, right? When you have an all-encompassing community and you're able to, you know, bring everybody in and everybody is able to laugh at each other, to me, that's a strong community. And that's what we're really looking to build with the wheelies, is something different, something outside the box, and something that everybody can really be a part of and get behind.
Right. Yeah, man. I agree 100%. This is something that literally, when I say nobody's doing it, nobody's doing it. I think that we're way ahead of the rest of the market when it comes to this, just simply because, I mean, there's the very beginning stages of animated NFTs. They'll do this little animation, but there's really not an entire community built around it. And there's definitely not a cartoon series. And so when we say animated series, it's literally going to be a cartoon. And so kind of the tokenomics of how this is going to work is we're going to have 5,000 of these mintable characters. And out of the 5,000, there's going to be 28 of those that are actually going to be characters inside of season 1 of the animated series. And so this is kind of the tokenomics of how it's going to work. If you guys mint in the pre-sale, you're going to be able to get the opportunity of potentially getting one of those 28 characters, which is obviously going to boost rarity. It's going to boost all of those things. And then as we make further seasons down the line, you know, those original OG NFTs are going to be worth more because they're the first season. And we're going to add different character traits and perks with all of those. And so go ahead. Yes, this is what I was just about to ask you. This is going to be kind of the slideshow presentation of the Wheelies, so you guys can actually get an idea of what this is going to look like a little bit. So go ahead and take it away, Miguel.
Brian's going to.
Oh, Brian has it. Well,
either way. Brian has that great, sexy voice.
So basically, obviously, the concept of the Wheelies, at least in season 1, what we're going with is you have these germs. All these germs live under the president's desk in a little ball of mucus that's been there for, you know, years, right? And part of the Wheelies community is they have kind of what's called an oracle. So the oracle basically relays whatever the president says into the community. It's broadcast on Wheelie TV 24/7, all day, every day, 365 days a year. So that's kind of like their gospel, their Bible, or their CNN or Fox News. So the big thing with the Wheelies is they hear the president talking about, we've got to kill the germs, we've got to kill the vaccine. So the Wheelies are absolutely losing their minds right now because they think that the president's talking about them. So they're super panicking, they're freaking out, they don't know what to do. So the Wheelies decide to try to leave Wheelie World. So that's kind of like where we started off with is this original part of the show is where Stuart Wheelie, which is the main character, works at a space company run by Elon Musk. That sounds pretty interesting. But this is basically a snippet of them and their first orbit. So the Wheelies are blasted off into space. They're testing out their new rockets, and then eventually they come back down to Earth here into what we call Wheelie World. Just a couple of videos or a couple clips of the city, one of the Wheelie cities. And then as you go down into Wheelie City, you see, you know, different Wheelies walking around, doing their thing. And all of these Wheelies will be different generative characters, right? So we have 20 really main characters in the series. 28. And then there's a bunch of, what's that?
28.
28 main characters. And there's a bunch of characters after that that are also in the series, but they aren't really main characters. So you see them going through the city. I don't know if they were supposed to make that to be me or not.
Is that you? Is that Pablo?
It's kind of offensive because I do not have that hair.
You guys can actually collect your own Pablo characters.
Nor that beard anymore. And the whole concept was that I put together for this was, you know, you're going into Wheelie City and it's bustling. You've got all these different types of people. You've got people fighting. You've got people making out. You've got this drunk dude over here drinking. You got this chick who says, I'm the hell with it. I'm getting out of here. So it's kind of just a microcosm of things that are going on in the real world today, right? And they continue along, and this is obviously the Wheelie family, and they're driving through downtown. They're seeing all this crazy stuff going on. There's a bum sleeping on the steps, or a cop chasing somebody down. And this is Beth Jesus. We misspelled his name here. We can correct that. And this is Elon Musk, and they're hanging out, having a drink, because they're about to take over the world, basically. And you can see the Wheelies continue through town. This is the happy Wheelie family, all in their car. This is the baby Wheelie right here, of course. And it basically shows them driving off into the sunset. And obviously, this is kind of the intro to every show. It'll be about 30 seconds to a minute, but it will play. There'll be some background music. Yeah, it should be really cool. And I think a lot of people are really gonna find this interesting, because you'll be able to see, you know, some of these generative characters actually in a cartoon, actually doing things. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's new, you know, something new and interesting. And obviously when I'm, you know, even when I'm like buying a token or something like that, or even a stock, I'm trying to find stuff that's new and interesting and different, right? And to me, this was something I could get behind, because something new, different and interesting.
Mm-hmm. Right. Definitely. I mean, when you compare it to the rest of the NFT space, there is nothing like this. And that was our big thing, is trying to create something unique, trying to, set the bar and really just raise that bar to something that makes everybody else kind of realize that, hey, these NFTs can be a lot more than just these digital pictures. Like, why isn't somebody actually making a cartoon out of this, a series that people can really get behind? Because in my opinion, that's really where the community is going to get really inspired. That's when they're really going to get attached to the characters. And it's ultimately just going to create more value for everybody in the process. And so, Miguel, what was your 20 years ago when you said that you actually created this series? What was your thought process in doing that? Because, I mean, 20 years ago, there really wasn't anything like the pandemic to worry about. So it's so funny to see how it perfectly kind of fits into what we're seeing in today's world.
30 years ago.
30 years. Wow. That's older than me.
So I was doing an internship with a very famous artist who is no longer with us. And he was a very strict artist. So when we were there in the internship, we had to work downtime, and which is a lot of sketching. And I was doing a lot of Renaissance work. We were doing a lot of that type of style of oil paintings. He was a master painter. And it was just a lot of downtime. It was just a lot of sketching, a lot of playing around. And I would get together with some of my friends after work, and I was like, hey, I'm creating this cartoon. I don't remember, actually, to be honest with you, how I came out about it. 30 years ago is a long time.
Yeah.
Dropped a lot of acid. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but, it just kind of grew, and there was a local newspaper in Miami Beach called The Wire magazine. And I knew the editor. And I said, hey, I have a cartoon. There's these little germs that live under the president's table, and their whole world reflects, the voice of the president. Can I just do some little one-page scenes for the newspaper? And he was like, sure. And that's how I started publishing it. Really? So I think it published in 1994 in the Wire newspaper. I have the actual clipping. And then from there, everybody at the studio will kind of collaborate and just throw ideas of it. I thought it was great. It's just kind of like a fun project. And they never, and then I just put it away. I put it on the shelf. I didn't want it to be, it's funny because it's 30 years later, right? Mm-hmm. And I've had great opportunities in my lifetime as an artist with other animations. I was represented by William Morris. I walked through all the big agencies, Disney, all of them, wow. Nickelodeon Jr. Wow. I didn't want it to be that. Mm-hmm. And neither did I want the Pulga, which is the other animation that you guys are familiar with, that I'll be dropping my own NFTs with. I didn't want that to be that either. I didn't want it to be, I come from a school of guerrilla marketing, right? And through my life, I've been very successful in my career beyond all the artists. I'm more of a businessman as much as I am an artist. So I've always stick to the basics of how I do my marketing. Even if it's today where everything's digital, we just switch it around. And, so I didn't want the project to end up being so mainstream.
Right.
I saw it a different way, and this was the perfect way to bring it out, to a niche community, to a certain group that gets it. It had to be current, and it just, everything, look, you hear this all the time. Projects, get put away, and they sit there for decades, right? And then they come out and they're a hit, or they come out and they fail 20 years later, they're a hit.
Right.
All again, right? For me, I just didn't think it was the right time. I had opportunities. I've introduced a project to other agents, and I pulled back. And it's not that I pulled back because I didn't think it would make it. I pulled back because I was probably in the middle of another project. And I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. But when I met you guys and we started talking, and unfortunately with COVID and pandemic and everything, right. I was like, shit, I have the right project for this. Because I started studying how the NFT market worked and, what other artists were doing digitally, right? What they were creating, they were doing the whole zombie thing. And, trying to like get a niche over this incredible world of NFTs is insane. I mean, it's a hit or miss, right? the Wheelies is an entire planet. We can create anything we want out of it. Anything current can happen there. It's a reflection of what's happening here and there.
Right.
So it's a great opportunity to be able to, you know, expand with it.
Right.
It's unlimited.
Right.
So,
and that's really the fun thing to think about it is they're semi-human. They have human quality traits, but at the end of the day, it's a tiny metaverse inside of under the president's desk in this little germ world, which is pretty much
from decades of precedents, right? So all the way before Reagan. So all those germs have been falling under the table. Ronald Reagan's earpiece is stuck under there, which works almost like a satellite. That's how they can hear everything. So it's just been stuck there because there's they don't sweep under under the president's table. They consider it bad luck at the White House. So it's just kind of, it's just there. So whatever is going on, that's why we changed the storyline to the president getting the COVID shot.
Right.
And there's particles that drip into Wheelie World under the paper clip that's stuck there. And the drops are falling. And since they're chemicals, right? Because everybody's claiming that the COVID is some type of chemical they're putting in us, right? Mm-hmm. It's exploding when it hits Wheelie World. So they think they're under attack and they're in panic and they think they're going to die. And it's a great story. It's so much fun.
It's so perfect because it really plays into how much fear and hysteria there is right now between people. It's one side versus the other. Everybody's so worried about everything that's going on, not only just the pandemic, but the cause and effect of after the pandemic with the vaccines. And so it's going to be so much fun to really just play off of that. Because, I mean, that's the thing is inside of the world today, there is so much fear. There is so much uncertainty. Everybody's angry at each other for different reasons. Everybody's mad at the government. And so why not take all of those factors and then spin off and make a joke out of the whole thing? And that's
and it's not that we're not being sensitive, with COVID, right? We all are. I think we just all need to have a little break. We need to take a breather and be able to laugh a little because there's a lot of tension going on everywhere right now.
So this is the original photo series that I dropped about a month ago now. All these photos were taken by me over the last 15 to 20 years. I've always taken photography. I've always done photos ever since I was a little kid for the most part. These are taken from all over the world: St. Lucia, Puerto Rico, Mexico, tons of different, West Virginia, tons of different places. And then we talked to Miguel, and I said, okay, well, what can we do a little bit different, right? What can we do? Everyone's so focused on generative art right now. I didn't want to do some weird generative art using computers. I wanted to do it using people. Me and Miguel talked, and my biggest concern was working with Miguel is, hey, you know what? I'm an unknown photographer. Yeah, I might be semi-popular on Twitter, but I don't want to devalue Miguel's brand because he's a well-known artist, known all over the world, sells his pieces for, a decent chunk of change. So how can we work together without really hurting him in some way, shape, or form? Because I'm not as well known. So we came up with the concept as a collaboration, taking each one of these pieces and developing something entirely new. So one of the cool things with the Genesis series, if you own one of these, you get airdropped one piece from every single collaborative series with Miguel in it. So own one, get a ton of free NFTs. And for example, one of the series, I guess you want to call it, that we created from one of these Ripple Genesis collections were these. This is kind of the first introduction to really the Pulgas in a collaborative effort. And I'll just open this up and let you guys watch.
The Pulga is an animated little character. It's an actual, like an anime flea.
Right.
Just so everybody understands what.
And all of these have, I don't know if you can hear it.
So the background music, who curated that music? Who wrote that?
So I have a team that's doing it. They're just making, demos and clips for each NFT.
Gotcha.
That's not playing very smooth.
No, it's probably hard over Zoom.
So that's just one of the series. So there's obviously 4 different series right now. We're going to drop another one on Monday. If you want to hop in the Telegram is Genesis. It's here somewhere.
I'm going to link all of the, I'm going to link it to the description in the video. So you guys are going to be able to find the Twitter. You're going to be able to find the Telegram. You're going to be able to find Miguel's Instagram, as well as all of the other stuff that you guys are going to want to find when it comes to finding our NFTs, as well as checking out these different collaborations. You're going to be able to find all of that in the description. So once again, at the end of the video, just go check all of that stuff out. And the cool thing, Miguel just is dropping on September 30th at 3:33 p.m. are the Polga Genesis series. So the Polga is our character we obviously developed a long time ago. So it's super exciting to share this with you guys. These are all already up on OpenSea. They're obviously not for sale yet. You'll see a bunch of weird offers. These are probably bots, but the definition in these and the work he put behind these is insane. Obviously, I buy NFTs like anyone else does. And as far as the definition goes on these, there's nothing that really compares. I love the animation on all of this stuff. It's beautiful. Super, super clean, super high def. I'm probably going to buy one if I can, because I'm sure there's going to be some type of gas war over these. But I'd love to just stick this on the TV.
Yeah, the resolution is really high. So when you project these into even your TV, you're not going to lose resolution. Right. Quality of sound, the video, it's just really as high as we can get it to be able to upload it. That's how we're doing it. We're doing it to the capacity. I mean, that's the cool thing about it is you can sometimes rarely find animated NFTs, but they're so basic. They're really not even that cool. You might as well just not even have the animation with how basic most of the stuff is. And so it's cool that you are already established artists and you're launching this stuff, because the quality of the actual piece itself is just so much greater than anything else we see out there. Right. And we're going to be doing giveaways with everything. I think even when we go into the Wheelies, I know it's going to be a crazy number, but I think that having these giveaways at the beginning, a year, 2 years from now, the value not only of the NFT, but the actual artwork or whatever the collectible is going to be, it's going to be priceless. Yep. You know, there's going to be thousands of people that are going to follow what we're doing. Right. You know, this is going to open up a whole new chapter to the NFT world that hasn't been done yet. I agree. And that's the cool thing about this is it's always going to be there on the blockchain. You can't manipulate it. You can't change it. It's going to be proven to be one of the very first, if not the actual first animated cartoon, because I have not seen anybody doing this. I haven't heard of anything. I mean, you kind of hear rumors of stuff, but when it comes to us launching this, we will most likely be the very first people. And so that in and of itself is going to add so much more rarity as a collectible piece. And the fact that, there's this big cartoon behind it. That's what's pretty much invaluable behind all of this stuff. It's something that, is very creative. It's something that nobody else is doing. And that's why we're so, excited to share this information with you guys. Now, one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is actually some of the releases that we've already made between us partnering with Miguel. And these are some of Miguel's art pieces that he's actually given away back to NFTs. He's given away over $70,000 worth of his art as a way to kind of launch and kickstart some of these NFT collaborations that we've been doing with him. And these are big pieces of art, guys. These are amazing opportunities. We've been having these little discounts on site of the NFT releases where you guys actually have the opportunity of grabbing one of the NFTs, and then if you collect all 5, Miguel's actually going to ship you the physical masterwork itself. And so he's given away about 5 different art pieces thus far to the people that have collected the NFTs, and that's valued over $70,000. Most of his artworks go for anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000, some of them even more than that. And you guys have the opportunity of actually getting some of these sent to you if you collect all of the NFTs. And so these are some of the artworks that have already been sent out to all of the people that are actually following along with these releases that we've been doing. These are just beautiful pieces, guys, and I actually have one on my way to my house. You guys will start seeing it in the backdrop of all of my videos. He's got a very unique style of art. I honestly love these things so much because it's like an anime spin-off in a way. They look like anime, but they have a lot more of realistic features. And in my opinion, that's what adds so much creativity to his actual art itself. And I actually love these art pieces. This was one of my favorite ones that he drew. This one, I actually do have a video to share with you guys of the time lapse of him actually creating that one. This was my favorite one that we actually did.
This is my favorite one just because of how, I mean, it's pretty simple when you compare some of the other ones. You don't have the anime collection inside of it, but in my opinion, this one is my favorite one just because of the realism inside of the flower, but then you still get that cartoony aspect with the birds. This is one of Miguel's signatures, is inside of his art. You're going to see a lot of these birds, you're going to see a lot of the Puglias, and you're also going to see a lot of the anime girls. And that, in my opinion, adds so much of a creative flair inside of that work. And the thing is, guys, if you collect the NFTs, he's actually going to ship one of these to your house. These are masterwork, limited edition paintings that you guys can actually collect by simply just collecting all of the actual NFTs themselves. And so this, in my opinion, is why what we're doing is adding so much new value, something we haven't seen inside of the NFT world. And if you guys tune in, you guys follow our Twitter accounts, you guys actually get access to these and see when we launch them. You have the opportunity of getting these actually sent to your house at a massive discount. Like I said, he's given away over $70,000 worth of art thus far, and this is only something that we're going to continue to release more of. So you guys really need to be paying attention for all of this. At this point, we got to wrap things up because we've already been over 40 minutes, but thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video. Thank you so much, Miguel, for giving us your time and sharing us this artwork. Thank you so much for collaborating with us because we're so excited to launch this. Pablo, once again, thank you so much for this opportunity that you've even gave us, because you're working just as hard as Miguel is to get everything going. Thank you so much, both of you guys, just for this collaborated effort, because I'm super excited to have this. I'm really excited to actually bring this to my YouTube community because, nobody's doing it, and it's going to really take the world by storm, especially the NFT world. So guys, once again, you guys can find all of the links in the description to go and follow Miguel or Pablo Hippo. I've talked about Pablo on this channel, so chances are you guys already remember him. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, we will catch you in the next one. As always,
thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.